Quick question. 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 Quick question.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Quick Question. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Travis.
Travis, quick question for you.
Okay, what's up?
How do you feel about ghosts?
Ooh, I'm kind of a guy who'll let the mystery be, as the case were. Like,
You don't go digging.
No, like I don't think there aren't ghosts, but I want to. I like the stories. Like I'm not someone. All right, let's try this again.
Do you believe in them?
I don't.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I don't.
Have you never had a paranormal experience or
I
anything?
didn't say that. I just said I don't believe in ghosts.
Oh, so you don't want to
be not to believe.
You don't want to be scared.
Yeah, and also too, like, I feel like if I don't believe in an afterlife, I can't believe in ghosts, right? Like if I think that,
Oh, interesting.
like if I don't, same thing with like angels and demons. Brandy and I, my wife, have this debate all the time. She believes in demons. I'm like, but you don't believe in angels, so you can't believe in demons. You can't. It's A and B. You have to take both sides of the coin.
Interesting.
So if I believe that when you die, you're just worm food and that's the end of it, then there's no ghosts.
That's sad, isn't it? Though, not like that. Not that opinion. Not your opinion is sad. Like just the thought that like when you die, you're just worm food. Isn't it kind of depressing? It's like all for naught.
Or it's a prompt to make the most of what you have. That there is no other unfinished business. That there is no, and you go on to a greater thing. This is the great thing.
See, by definition, atheism is like not believing in a singular theistic God.
Yeah, they all get together to talk about it, so they might as well be a fucking church. You know?
Exactly. I wouldn't say I guess by definition, I'm an atheist. Like I don't believe in some guy like the Pope said, sitting up on a cloud with a magic wand. I don't believe in that.
The Pope said that?
I think he's like, yeah, he was talking about creationism, and he said that he's like, God is not some guy sitting on a cloud with a magic wand. He was talking about how he started supporting evolution. And
is he thinking of Dragon Ball Z?
Or like the Koopa Trooper and like remember the guy in Mario Brothers with like who was in the cloud? He'd throw that shit trying to kill you. So I don't believe in that.
There is no man. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a Mario.
So I don't necessarily believe in that guy up there, but I do believe in like. I don't know. Like, it's so cliche to say, oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But I think there's some kind of like energy stuff that you can't quite explain. And it's like, I've had some pretty weird experiences with this,
Well, that's true. I mean, I've seen you hunt some ghosts.
I have hunted ghosts.
Yeah.
I was on Ghost Hunters, and like that experience I had with that little dead boy was pretty.
Sounds so weird.
It was pretty creepy. In the best possible way. Like, there was at no point I felt like I was in danger or, I didn't feel scared. It was exhilarating. Like, your hair is standing on end as you're, like, interacting with something that can't be seen. Kind
of like this podcast. If you're a listener, you're like, I'm interacting with these guys, but I can't see them.
Is listening interacting?
Well, it depends on how passive you are as a listener. I mean... Haven't you ever listened to something with "What? No, you're fucking wrong!" You're screaming. Yeah. Were you a believer before you went on Ghost Hunters?
My mom fucked me up pretty good as a boy, as a little kid. Yeah, she fucked me up real good as a kid. So when I was a little boy, I mean, I was probably like 2 or 3 years old, and I don't really remember this, but
and she buried me alive and said, "If you really want this world."
So I have two childhood Jonathan stories. First one. My brothers were in school, and my mom said that I was just always a handful, and I would just exhaust her, and she was so tired, she just wanted to take a nap, and she would put me in the bed with her, and she would say, "Jonathan, if you leave this bed, the monsters are going to eat your toes." Like
you're
3,
yeah,
2 or 3.
You're just able to make memories.
Yes,
like you're just starting.
Yeah. And she told me that if I put my feet off this bed, the monsters are going to eat my toes. To this day, I can't sleep with my feet outside of the covers. Swear to God.
And you have very few toes.
And I have very few. Got one left.
Fuck you, monsters! This is my toe.
Can you know how weird that would be? Like you just had, like your middle toe. That's the only toe you had on your foot. because of monsters. And then the second story is when I was a kid. This is the one that makes me truly believe in something else.
Okay.
When I was a kid, we have this tiny apartment in Chicago, and I was like, again, 2 or 3, and I'm standing in my kitchen looking into the bedroom, and my mom said I was just like staring into the bedroom with my mouth agape. And she says, Jonathan, and I wouldn't like reply. I was just like staring, and she goes, Jonathan. And I shushed her, and I pointed, and I said, I'm looking at the angel.
Oh.
Yeah. As like a little boy. Like, I don't remember that, like 2 years old. So it's like, I obviously couldn't have been lying that. You're really not wrapping your head around lying or fibbing for the sake of a story. But yeah, my mom told me that I saw an angel when I was a kid. And
you don't remember this.
I don't remember doing this.
So she could have made the story. This could have been another monster under the bed story. This could have been
No, she told me flat out, like, she's like, you said you were looking at the angel. I don't know why my mom would make that up.
I don't know. Parents do weird. They make up all kinds of things. You know.
Get my mom on the phone.
Yeah, I don't know why
your mom. Funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
fucking mom lying.
Why would you make that up? I mean, she only told you that a man comes down the chimney and brings you gifts. She only told you that when your teeth fall out, you get money from a magical fairy. She only told you that there's an Easter bunny that brings you candy because Jesus died.
But my brothers never saw anything. I love the whole paranormal stuff. I love
it
scared.
too. See, that's the thing.
I love ghost hunting. I love I've had some freaky shit happen to me too. Like, all right, this is dark and weird, but
that's my Venn diagram. That's my Venn diagram of things I like.
He's like, now you're in my wheelhouse. Now you're talking.
Dark and weird, right in the middle is me. I got it.
So, like my buddy Frank back in Chicago, he was the organist at the church. There's a giant church across the street from my house, and
the great Frankini.
The great Frankini, yes. And he's into some weird and cool shit too. And we used to go into church at night and like with all the lights off and just like, I'm talking like 2 a.m, just like go into this church, pitch black, and like lay on the altar and like just look for ghosts and stuff.
There is a surprising amount of ghost stories around churches.
Well, think about how many funerals go through there, and you know, it's like, and it just, there's always energy there. It's like, and again, not scary, but there was this one time when we were sitting up there and there was a ball of light that started flashing down one of the pews. And my brother was there. My brother that was the first time I saw my brother like turn white, because he was a non-believer and all that stuff. And he looked at me and he's like,
well, that's the thing about ghosts, right? Like you're either like me, where you're like, I like the stories, but I don't believe, or it's like, no, I fucking saw something. You don't understand.
No, I saw something.
Yeah, right.
I saw something. Yeah.
Hey, so you've had a few paranormal experiences.
I have.
So are you a medium?
I wouldn't say I'm a medium, but I tend to.
You're more like a large.
Zing!
Boom!
I am a medium. No, I would say, no, that's all I can think about now. That's what size shirt I am. I wouldn't say I'm a medium, like, you know, but I don't like talk to dead people or anything like that. But I'm a conduit, a conductor, you know, because like every time I'm around, shit seems to happen.
Are you a ghost only, or do you go into like demonic possessions, and like how far down the paranormal rabbit hole do you go?
It's a great name for a punk band. Paranormal Rabbit Hole.
I think they're playing Coachella next year.
I'll go all the way down. I'll follow the rabbit hole down as far as it goes.
So
I don't believe. Okay, I don't believe in like devils, you know, but I don't believe in, you know, like Saint Michael the Archangel with his wings and his, you know, his sword. And I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But I do believe that there is, like, when you say demon or demonic entity, I believe in negative energy. You know, I believe that I think there are some people out there who are truly evil people.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. And I think that energy doesn't go away. I think some of that stuff can stick around, and, you know, I think that's why some houses like the Winchester Mansion and stuff like that, how it's just, you know, there's just like,
I don't know if people know that story. That story is incredible. So, the widow to, I don't remember his first. I want to say Charles Winchester, but I have no idea if that's right.
Chester.
Chester? Are you Chester Winchester? I was so like just ready, like, well, Jonathan knows shit, so he's probably right. The widow of Winchester, the guy who created the Winchester rifle, the first repeating rifle that was just throw that bottle anywhere. The house that they had, she claimed that she was haunted by anybody who had been killed by a Winchester rifle. And so the only way to keep the ghosts at bay was to have constant construction. So the house became the mystery house, the Winchester Mystery House. It was continually built for something crazy like 30 years, maybe longer.
And it was built to confuse the ghosts, right? So
no, it was just built to keep having construction, but that means that things don't go anywhere. So you'll open a door and it's a brick wall.
Well, that's why I thought there was like there was a rumor like she kept on building like these staircases to nowhere so the ghosts would get lost in the house so they didn't know where.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
of it.
it's like that's why there's like just like there'll be a staircase that goes up because the ghosts will go up the staircase and be like, damn you! I
mean, if you're that dumb of a ghost, like,
and plus ghosts don't use stairs.
Also, too, like you figured out how to cross over from like the paranormal. You're in another realm of existence. If where a staircase has confused you, like we don't need you. You're not the best and brightest that has come here to take care of the unfinished
still
business.
Figuring it out.
Yeah,
still figuring it out. So I want to hear. Tell me some of your one of your paranormal experiences. Because you said you don't. It's not like serious. You choose not to believe, but you did. You also said that you have experienced stuff.
I haven't had like crazy stuff. I've had stuff I can't explain. I haven't had things like you've had where I've seen something directly, but I have had stuff where you go, all right, for instance, this house that we're recording in, where I live, when we got the place,
you have to start the story with, it was a cold and rainy night.
It was a cold and rainy night.
The wind whistled through the trees.
Travis Clark, why? There hasn't been a Travis Clark.
I haven't seen Travis Clark around here in 30 years.
Oh my God, that would be the best twist ending, that you're just in a room by yourself.
Oh my God.
And you're recording people are listening, only hear your voice. There's no.
That'd be amazing. It's like Fight Club. It's like a Fight Club podcast. Oh, did you hear my new podcast with Travis? Travis Clark?
Yeah.
Oh, Travis Clark. Been around here in 30 years. And then you pull back to the house, it's just an abandoned house all boarded up.
No, it's there. There was microphones. There was an outdated iMac. It was amazing. So
Travis Clark's been dead for 30 years.
Podcasting? Why? No one's podcasted in 30 years. So when we got this place, we had to do a home inspection, which is part of the home buying process to make sure you're not getting a ramshackled thing that's held together with spit
That's the
and glue.
Second time you used ramshackle.
Is it really?
Yes, you used it yesterday.
I do like that word.
Yeah,
it's a good word. So we had a guy go under the house and do the look at the foundation and the slab and all of that stuff. We have photos and video of him under there. It's just dirt. It's dirt and pipes, which is what you're supposed to see under a house. Within a week of living here, we heard thuds under the house and laughter, like a child's laughter, like a kid laughing. Now, the crawl space under here is, it can barely, I was amazed when the adult got under it. Like,
they're tiny.
They're very, very small. There's now a collection of children's toys under our house.
Woo!
That were not there before. And we know they were not there before because we have video and you can look and see that they weren't. You could even look, like, we can see them under the house because they've been moved forward and put close to the crawl space opening.
Do you think it's a ferret? Because ferrets like to hide stuff.
I think that the family who used to live here kind of mysteriously disappeared. We don't know what happened to them.
Oh, this is true.
This is true. The idea is that they just left in the middle of the night. They couldn't afford the house anymore and they just left. There's also stories you can talk to our neighbors about a few times that their kids would just be out in the street. Like, they don't know why. They'd get locked out of the house and they'd be out playing in the street and
weird.
Have no. So I don't. All right. I've only told this story to Brandy. I've told this to no one else.
No time like the present, Travis.
I got really obsessed with the idea of astral projection.
I love astral projection.
Oh my God. Thank God I don't have to explain it to you.
Okay. I love it. I'm a huge advocate of that.
So, for those who don't know, astral projection is the idea that out of body experience, or
Like you can go on these journeys on the astral plane where you leave your body.
yeah. And you can go through time, you can go through space, you can do all of that stuff. And I became obsessed with the idea in terms of like, well, in terms of space exploration, if this was real, you could actually go anywhere in the universe and not have to actually have a blah, 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 blah. Save the payload. I'm all about saving the payload.
That's it.
So when I started getting really into the idea or revisiting the idea earlier this year, I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm just going to kind of mess around and meditate and see what happens.
Did you do one of the books? Is that
I didn't. I read a couple of things, and look, I am far from an astral projection professional. I'm not even an amateur. I like naps. That's
you use astral projection as a means to a nap.
Yeah.
What are you gonna? Hey, Trev, what are you doing for the next half hour? Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go leave my body.
Yeah. Just leave it alone. It'll be fine, and I'll come back.
Snoring on the couch with drooling. What's Travis?
Shh. He's traveling the universe.
He's
leave him alone.
Oh, is that gold?
So when you're first starting to do it, they say just kind of relax in the bed and kind of imagine yourself leaving your body and just try and walk around your house. Don't try and go into outer space. Don't try and stand on the rings of Saturn.
So what did you do?
I
tried to stand on the rings of Saturn.
I like to overachieve.
Took a wrong turn at Jupiter, and next thing you know, I'm on Pluto, and
it's still a fucking planet as far as I'm
always
concerned.
Be a planet. Pluto will always be a planet to me.
So I'm in the bed, and I get up. And I start walking around the house, and the house still has the same layout, but it looks a little dated, a little older. And there's a lady in a kind of flowery, kind of, I would say, early to mid 60s house coat kind of jacket. And she had like not really a beehive hairdo, but like an updo, like kind of, and she clearly had been dyeing her hair red, and she was walking around in the front room. And I knew that her name was Christine. I just knew that was her name. And I want to say, I ended up writing all of this down. I think McKenzie, was her last name. I knew that her name was Christine
McKenzie.
Yeah.
You just knew.
Just knew that.
Did you interact with this lady?
I did not interact with her. I just saw her walking around and knew her name. And was like, okay, this is interesting. This is like a neat little whatever's happening. Went back to my body, got up, and that was the end of it. And I remember when we bought the house, they gave us a bunch of papers. So I don't know if you had this, if they did this for you too. They give you all the permits and stuff that are associated with your house, just so you have the paperwork.
Yeah, someone has them somewhere.
Right. Well, we have them right over there. So I went and I was like, I've never looked at them. We've had them. I decided to go through them, and
no way.
The McKenzies were the family who lived here from the 1940s until the 1960s.
No way.
And it was like Walter and Christine were the people who lived here.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. So that was like my first that was weird, like
that's
was
real weird.
Right. And I tried to look them up to see if they were real people, because
see, now how can you not believe in ghosts with that kind of a story?
Because that to me isn't a ghost story. That's an astral plane story. That was me revisiting a time,
What if ghosts are nothing more than people who are
holy you stop it. You stop it right now. I didn't even think of that. Just someone out of dimension? Just someone
what if that's what a ghost is? Someone who's just astral projecting and you happen to interact with them.
Okay, now maybe I'll believe in ghosts, because
Did you honestly never think about that?
I never did until now. I think everything's either a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
And we would have got away with it if it wasn't for those damn kids.
It's either a Scooby-Doo cartoon or a Christopher Nolan movie.
Did you watch Christopher Doo?
I'd watch Christopher Doo so much.
Scooby Nolan.
Scooby Nolan. There's so many twists in it. It works on a lot of levels.
So wait, did you watch Scooby Doo? I remember Scooby Doo, but I don't think I couldn't really.
Oh my God, I watched Scooby Doo. Not still, but I watched it all the time.
And the Mystery Van, what was it?
The Mystery Machine.
The Mystery Machine.
You got Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby.
One of them was attractive. I remember that.
Daphne was the attractive one. Although, as I've gotten older,
you started going towards Daphne.
I see the appeal of Velma.
Which one was Velma?
Velma's the orange sweater, clearly
glasses,
clearly hiding a healthy set of lungs under that big orange turtleneck.
You'd go for Velma. Huh?
I would. I feel Velma would be underappreciated and would be a lot of.
Trav.
What?
Velma needs love too.
Exactly. The Velmas need love too.
You know what? I'm tired of the Daphnes always getting what they want.
You know, they're always there with some fucking dick in an ascot, you know?
Yeah.
Walking around just stealing the thunder in their purple miniskirt.
Whatever they want.
Yeah.
They're the captain of the cheerleading team.
Right. Velma, on the other hand, she's interesting. She's got interesting opinions.
She's all that.
Yeah.
She's all that. You know what? You grow her hair out a little, or not even grow the hair out a little bit. Just take those glasses off.
And then she won't know where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Velma, over here.
Yeah. I watch Scooby-Doo a lot. Like a lot. Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Doo, Scooby-Dum.
I remember Scooby-Dum.
Scooby-Dum was Scooby-Doo's stupid cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dum, dum, dum. He wore a Sherlock Holmes hat. Had a magnifying glass, and he wanted to be a detective, but he was dumb.
I remember, what was that? Remember, did you ever watch the Flintstones when Fred and Barney are they're like the spies, they're like James Bond?
No.
You never seen this?
No.
Oh my God, it was great. And they have the French girl who's like, you stupid good looking. You've never seen, you stupid idiots. You've never, or is it like the
No.
Russian? Oh my God, with the karate chop chop. You have to watch this. It's like total, 60s James Bond, Get Smart kind of stuff, but it's set in the Stone Age. And Fred and Barney are like they're spies. It's an amazing.
What was their punny Stone Age spy name?
I think they were just Fred and Barney, but they were definitely like secret agents. And I forget. I got to watch it back again. Maybe I'll watch it on YouTube tonight. But it's such a fun episode.
I just remember when Pebbles and Bam Bam got older. Pebbles started Pebbles was super hot and had a ponytail up top and wore a leopard bikini. And Bam Bam was a big bodybuilder dude.
Yeah. Who was the little wizard guy? Kazoo.
Oh, the great! Wasn't he was he a
Martian?
Was he? Yeah.
But didn't he do wishes for you or something?
Something like that. And he didn't call anybody Dum Dum, or am I thinking of a different thing?
No, that's
yeah,
no, Dum Dum is the chick.
Oh.
I think it's you Dum Dum.
Dum Dum is the girl?
No, that's not her name. No, but the Russian chick I'm telling you about.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch
stupid Dum Dum.
I didn't watch a lot of. I think I remember about Flintstones was there was always some animal doing some manual labor and he'd go, it's a living. They were always he was in the shower or the record player.
Yeah, and all right, let's just...
Maybe those were all...
I just hear me out here.
Okay.
The cars were powered...
By feet.
Mm-hmm. Why not just walk instead of pulling around the weight of a car? All you're doing is getting in the car to push a heavy piece of machinery. Why not just run? If you're that fast with that... If you can move that quickly with that much added extra weight, imagine how quick you'd get there without the extra weight.
So your problem with the Flintstones is solely isolated with their mode of transportation.
Hey man, I'm just saying there's some serious fucking plot holes.
I want to talk about some more astral projection stuff.
Yeah, please.
Because I'm remembering this other thing I did. That's weird. So, well, have you done it? Have you?
I have. Here's the thing with astral projection. In my personal experiences, I find that it's hard to discern between dreaming and astral projecting.
I would agree.
It's hard to determine. And a lot of times people think that lucid dreaming is, can kind of be correlated to astral projection. The most vivid, and it's weird because all this stuff, the most vivid memories I have are from when I'm a kid, like these stories. I distinctly remember seeing myself sleep one time and coming down from wherever, but I remember spiraling down towards watching myself sleep. And that's the one vivid thing I remember. I don't remember much about the journey or what happened before that, but I have this crystal clear I can tell you the position I was in my bed. And I kind of came to and woke up and I was like, whoa. And I was maybe 9 years old.
Do you remember being somewhere else, or you just remember seeing yourself?
I remember a view, a bird's eye view from my ceiling, And I remember kind of like just this weird kind of spiraling back into myself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I've become obsessed with the idea of astral projection as a means of time travel. That's
I
a
love it.
thing
That's
that
cool.
I've been really that I've had more than a couple of experiences. Well, I've had 2 experiences with.
Okay.
I was going to the dentist. This is also this year. So all my astral projection has happened this year, by the way. So I was going to the dentist, and my dentist is kind of close to where I went to high school.
Okay.
So I'm driving through streets that I haven't driven on in 10, 15,
And you
20
get
years.
that feeling.
Well, so I'm driving and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. Because, the whole reason I was driving surface streets is that the freeway was so backed up that I was like, I'm just going to take surface streets there.
Right.
And I'm now driving on streets where this is where I used to look for parking when I was in high school. And this is so weird. I've been over this area. And all these songs on the radio, I'm driving there during the flashback lunch hour. So all these songs from when I was a teenager are playing. So Nirvana is playing and Soundgarden's playing and they're all, and I'm instantly like,
Which is a great conduit to astral projection.
I know. So I'm now I'm going to be there way too early, and I hate sitting around in the waiting room. So I pull over in my car and just kind of leave the air conditioning on. I'm like, I'm just going to hang out kind of down the street from this dental office, just hang out in my car for a bit.
Right.
And I end up kind of semi nodding off or astral projecting.
Traveling the universe.
I end up in the hallway of my high school, and I'm seeing all these kids that I went to school with. It's 1992 again, and I'm walking around, and the bell, and I have this, I didn't even remember this. I never had a locker, or I had a locker. I never went to it. I had this giant duffel bag that I carried all my books in, so I never had to go to my locker.
Oh, you were one of those.
Yeah, so
You were one
I
of
was
those.
one of those.
Oh, you were one of those.
So I'm holding this duffel bag, and I'm in the locker. I'm in the I'm in the hallway on the way to a class, and the bell rings and everybody goes, and I'm just standing in the hallway by myself. And this teacher, who I haven't thought about in 20 some years, comes out and he goes, "Hey, Travis, what do you need to get to class?" And I went,
Weird.
is this happening?"
So now you're having an interaction.
Yeah. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Am I really in high school again?" And he goes, "Travis, you got to stop getting high before you come to school."
Weird.
And I said,
So, and you're lucid.
I'm talking to him. And I went, "Wait, you're going to get fired for sleeping with a student." And he goes, "What?" And he pulls me into a room and starts going, what do you fuck, don't, what do you, and he's like mad at me.
Wow.
And I'm getting really uncomfortable. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but he definitely slept with an underage girl and definitely got fired at my high school. And he kind of pinned me up against the wall, and I freaked out, and I woke up and I was back in my car.
Crazy town.
Yeah.
Crazy town. Like, yeah, I mean, I wonder if that's like, it's harder to discern between lucid dreaming and that,
Yeah, I mean,
Where it's just like,
yeah.
because your memory is a powerful fucking weapon, not a weapon.
you haven't met my memory.
I've conquered kingdoms with my memory. Yeah, but it's like, is that just, because your brain's like a hard drive,
Right.
And
fragmented and slowly failing.
But you have shit in there that, like, memories stored where it's like you haven't thought about them in years, but like one little thing can trigger them. So
Right.
I wonder if that's like maybe the music triggered off stuff like that kind of, opened up some boxes that you haven't opened in a while. Open up some files that you haven't opened in a
But
while.
I love the idea of, well, then it inspired me to think of the idea of like, well, what if you could go back and travel back into your own past and go, okay, I could change a lot of things.
Have you ever seen The Butterfly Effect with
Is that
Ashton
the
Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher? Yeah, where like there's butterflies.
Yeah, it's the. Well, did you see it, Travis? Did you? Oh, you did. Why don't you tell me what it's about?
Ashton Kutcher was like, "I like butterflies," and then
what? Yeah, and then
and he started.
they had some effects.
He had some effects, and he opened I want to say a honey farm.
Yes, you did see it. Damn it, you did see it. Shit, I thought I was going to.
So wait, there was a bunch of movies kind of like that at the time, because there was also the one where they put Adrian Brody in a drawer a lot and he could travel through time.
What?
I don't know. There was this movie where they kept shoving Adrian Brody into a drawer and he could.
Was this around the time of the Lake House too?
It might have been. There was a lot of magical drawers, magical mailboxes, controlling time with your mind. Butterfly Effect, he went back in time, but every time he messed with something, it fucked up something else, right?
Yeah. But it's anyway, you're talking about like this going back in time thing, and I'm kind of fascinated by this, the whole the concept of time on the astral plane,
Because it's not linear.
Well, and so they, like I said, when you were listening to that, you said you were listening to that music and you're driving down these streets, and that stuff kind of has a way of opening these little portals in your head. And I remember there was one time I was in high school, and we had this property out in like an hour outside of Chicago, just like a little plot of land, and there were like these beaches there, and there was some like it was like a fishing resort kind of thing. And I remember playing in the sand. Like right, just inside the water, I was like kind of sitting, just up to my like waist in water, and just like feeling the wet sand under my hands. And so we had a great day, and I came back home that night, and I was like laying in bed, and for some reason, the way my hand was under the pillow, it felt like the sand again, and it was just like it reminded me of that feeling. I started focusing on that, and the more I focused on it, the more I was almost able to like transport myself right back to where I was when I was like laying in the sand. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it was weird because I technically was reliving the day with a tactile memory. Like it wasn't just a memory. I was literally like I felt my fingers through the sand again. I felt the water like hitting my body. So I think that you may be onto something here when you say you can kind of travel back in time, even if you can't change anything, but maybe going right back to a certain moment, What do you think?
I think we could meet earlier. We could like each astral project and like
This sounds like a movie.
Oh, we could become like we could we could lake house each other. We could live each other's magic.
Jonathan, well, you look sad. What happened? Travis lake housed me.
You mean he had a relationship with you through a magical mailbox, even though you lived 3 years apart?
For our viewers at home, I mean, you guys got to check out the theory of the concept of this movie called The Lake House. Who was it? Meg Ryan? Or no, Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock and
Keanu.
And Keanu Reeves.
They have a relationship through a magic mailbox where they send letters to each other, but they're 3 years apart.
It's amazing. I haven't watched this movie in like 8 or 9 years. I still think about it. I still go, but no, wait, why wouldn't they just go? Like, I keep having problems with it.
It's not that solid of a foundation.
Right. I don't think there's a lot of people pulling on those threads. They're just like, I want to see Sandy Bullock and
whatever. Like, that's what movies were entertaining about. Like, I remember movies in the '80s, like Teen Wolf. Or like
yeah, like I should pull on the threads of Teen Wolf. That doesn't really hold up either.
Like trying to get a movie made today is just like it has to be so fucking real.
Yeah.
It's like movies. There was a time when movies were just meant to entertain you. When it was like they didn't have to be real because it took you away from your everyday life and it made you it kind of transported you to this place where you just got to sit back and enjoy something silly.
Yeah.
But now it's like everything's so black and white. That would never happen, or that would never happen.
That's not how a werewolf would play basketball.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen Teen Wolf, and I'm not talking about the cheesy MTV Teen Wolf thing.
I never watched that, but the idea of gritty rebooting Teen Wolf.
Yeah, thanks, Twilight. Thank you, Twilight. Go back and watch Michael J. Fox in the original Teen Wolf. Was it 1988?
I might have been earlier.
87-ish?
Yeah. Well,
88, a little earlier. 87?
That sounds
now
about right.
You're talking.
Because there was also, Jason Bateman was also a wolf.
Well,
that
Teen
was
Wolf
a
2.
TOO.
Yes.
Because,
TOO.
yeah, Teen Wolf in addition to. Teen Wolf as well as.
I miss those movies. Like Gremlins,
Or even Goonies. Like
Goonies
is a terrible premise if you think about it.
Oh, come on.
In terms of being realistic,
It's very far fetched.
Yeah.
Like a group of kids are not going to find the pirate ship that all these adventurers and like professional treasure hunters couldn't find.
I like how you were like, what are you? Oh no, you're right. Yeah, it does not make.
Oh no,
sense.
I just thought you meant ridiculous premise. Like the whole movie kind of sucked. I was like,
no.
Oh.
Well, but you know, one of my favorite things about Goonies,
The
is,
grandmother, the Mama Fratelli.
Erin, Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey.
Oh, she's amazing.
Erin,
You don't have a cousin Patty. You lied to me, thunk.
was that Throw Mama from the Train?
Throw Mama from the Train, amazing movie.
You don't have a cousin Patty.
You lie. I rewatched. I watched that clip.
Crisscross. So great.
You know what's great about that movie? It's just about a failing writer who'll do anything to make
himself, to make himself significant. So go on. What's your favorite part about
my
Goonies?
favorite part of the Goonies is there's actually a scene that they cut out where there was a giant squid at the end that when they're trying to get off of, what was the pirate's name? Willie?
One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie. There was a squid when they're trying to get off the thing and they have to fight a squid, but it looked rubber and bad and fake. So they cut the whole thing out. But when the kids are on the beach and like telling the adults what they went through, there's still one of the kids said, and we fought a squid. So it looks like the kids are lying about their whole adventure.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like, but that never happened. We never saw that. But they kept that little line of dialogue in, so they look like they're just embellishing the story.
That.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I love little Easter eggs like that in films.
And me too.
Yeah.
You ever gone on an adventure hunt? As a kid, like when I saw that movie,
as a kid, I wanted to be a treasure hunter.
Right.
You know,
me too. Like all of those movies made me want to go. I mean, it's actually really bad if you think about it for kids to watch because you're like, I want to go climb in caves where people
die.
Yeah,
like literally. No. Yeah, I've always wanted to. I still do that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I don't do that stuff, but I'm still fascinated with that idea of treasure hunting and there's just something about it. I don't know, like, you know, that's why I love scuba diving so much. And
you scuba dive?
I scuba. I am for scuba.
You are for scuba?
I am for scuba. I am a scuba diver. I love that whole, you know, exploration of places that you've never been before and you don't really know. Like, it's exploration in its truest form. Like the first time you dive on an island, or the first time like I went to Catalina and dove the kelp beds there, and you just don't know where you're at. You're 60 feet underwater.
Is down and up, down. Like, do you get confused about which way is up? I mean, I know
the ground is below you, and
but I mean, you can get turned around. Like,
no,
you don't have to like watch the bubbles to figure out which way is up.
No. You'll know which way
I
is
know
up.
that where the ground is down. Jonathan.
Ocean floor, surface. No, you don't get turned around like that. Yeah, because like you know you'll never dive in like open like the depths where you will get turned around. You'll never you stay. I'd say around 60 feet.
Yeah, you can't go deeper than that, right? Without some kind of special equipment.
No, you can go down to about 100, but anything deeper than that you have to use. It's called nitrox, which is
what?
It's a different blend of oxygen in your tank.
It sounds like an energy drink.
Nitrox. I'm gonna scuba so hard. Yeah, but I love like you just go down there and you're like, you know, it's just stuff you've never seen before. And I think that's what I loved about Goonies is because these guys had no idea where they were going. They're in this completely new environment, and they're just, you know, they're figuring things out as they go.
So you're saying when you're scuba diving that it's your time? It's your time down here? Is that what you're saying?
I see what you did there, and I like it. This one's mine. I'm taking it back. You guys at home, watch Goonies if you haven't. You know what's crazy? This is gonna blow your fucking mind.
All right.
So before I bought my house, I was living at this place in Laurel Canyon, and we used to have these Super Bowl parties, you know, and there were massive parties, and everybody came, like hundreds of people. And one of my buddies, Josh, owns a DeLorean.
Really?
He bought a DeLorean. You've met Josh, the Australian guy, the
Oh
writer.
yeah.
So he owns a DeLorean.
I watched Back to the Future with him.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, are you ready to get very upset?
Well, you always do this to me. You always think I'm going to get upset about something.
No, this is going to piss you off.
Okay.
Or blow your mind. So, one of the two. Okay. It might blow your mind and piss you off. So he had his DeLorean parked in my driveway, and all these people are like going up to it, taking pictures of it. And this girl was like 22, and she's like, "Why do people keep taking pictures of that car?" And we're like, "Back to the Future," and she goes, just a blank stare, and I was like, what? And I realized, like, she wasn't even born when Back to the Future came out. You know?
Right, yeah.
And she had no idea what Back to the Future was. I was like, how the fuck do you not know what Back to the Future is? Listeners at home, Back to the Future is the greatest franchise in film history. I firmly believe it. And I know you don't like 3, but I think 3 was better than 2.
I don't know if I've seen all. We tried to watch 3. I still don't know if I've seen all of 3.
The Western?
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. I loved it.
I don't know if I've seen all of it.
I thought it was great. A lot of people don't like it, but
Why don't people like it?
I just think they think like 2 was better, but I think 3 was great. I loved it, the whole Western.
I don't know. You know what? How long has that movie been out?
I think it came out. The first one came out in 85, maybe.
Right, but doesn't seem right.
I'm going to the internet on this one. Might have even been 84.
That seems right.
You son of a bitch. If you're right,
it's 84.
Is it?
No. Wait, no. No, it's 85 because that's the year they keep trying to travel to. It's 85.
1985.
I just agreed with you before you looked it up.
That's right.
Because everything it's either 85, 55, or 2015.
Do you want to know what's crazy?
Or 1885.
Here's a fun fact for you.
Okay.
So you know how they went from 85 to 55? Right?
Do I know how they did it?
No, they did. You know how they did? Like yes. Do you you know how they went from 85 to 55 in the movie? Right?
Yes, there was a DeLorean.
I'm not. Stop taking me literally, you second. So, if we were to go back to 1985, more time has passed from 85 to today than actually passed in the film. So we'd actually be going deeper in time to go back to 1985 than they did in the film.
Oh yeah, because we just passed the 30-year mark 2 years ago. Yeah.
Craziness.
Because we hit the actual day 2 years in 2015.
October or September?
November. Isn't it November?
I don't know.
I think it's in November. And look, fax machines did not make a comeback. We never wore 2 ties. CDs did not remain the...
We never wore 2 ties. Oh, is that golden? Golden.
I see, but my point is, I don't remember when 3 came out. I still don't know how the franchise ends. I assume they...
3 came out. I was in 3rd grade when 3 came out.
But I don't know how it ends. I don't know what the end of the franchise is. Do they fix time?
Well, I'm not going to just fucking give you the
I
answer.
don't think it's a spoiler at this point.
I think it is a spoiler.
How is it a spoiler? Oh, the train. There's a train that flies. The train flies.
Yes, the
right?
train flies. You did see it.
And I've seen the ending. I've seen the
Yeah.
ending, but I don't know how the train. I don't know how do you get there.
What do you mean, how you get there?
I don't know why they needed the train to fly.
He goes back to the future.
On a train?
It's a flying train.
But there's no... I have so many questions.
Doc Emmett Brown comes back in the train, and then it flies.
And that's the end of the franchise? This is
gotta
the greatest...
watch it again.
See, you don't even know.
Well, now you're confusing me. Now you're confusing me.
Okay. But the point is, astral projection is real.
Astral projection is real. I believe in ghosts, and maybe not ghosts, quote unquote. Maybe not. Ooh. But I believe in entities.
I love that you qualify. I saw a ghost. Well, I didn't see a ghost, but I saw.
So, guys, let's recap our podcast today.
Okay, let's hear it.
I believe in ghosts.
I am on the fence.
Astral projection is cool.
I have possibly done it.
Time travel is possible.
Through astral projection and streets that you used to park on in high school.
80s movies rock.
Although we have no idea how
Back to the Future ends. Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Quick question. We all want to travel more, but life can get in the way of getting away. And let's face it, packing, unpacking, airports, hotels, these things are all real hassles. But what if you could travel without having to go anywhere at all? Well, now you can with Astral Projection Airlines. Astral Projection Airlines allows you to freely move through time and space, all from the comfort of your own mind. Want to see the center of the Milky Way? Want to stand on the rings of Saturn? Want to go back in time and possibly accuse a former teacher of sexual misconduct? All of these trips and more are readily available if you just close your eyes and relax. Don't worry. It's fine if you fall asleep. That's all part of it. Remember, if you're not snoring, you're not exploring. Astral Projection Airlines. It's a bus that you take a nap on.